All right, let's see if I'm ready for this. I don't know if I am. I wasn't planning on doing another video this soon. Um, but give me one sec here. Let me figure out, make sure everything's working right. All right, that is okay. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So there's a reason for this video, and this is for one particular person, really, which is on screen. Uh, Hope you don't mind me doing this, man. I mean, you know, not trying to be disrespectful here or anything like that, but you asked me to go into this video, so I'm just gonna read this, man. I mean, this is a good comment, dude. This dude's out there in Hawaii, and I never expect to be uh, doing Maui stuff. I mean, I just did it last night because I had nothing to do, and I just wanted to, do something. And just felt like being social, I guess. But this is one of the comments left for me. And I mean, it's a bunch of numbers, but this guy's been around for a long time. This guy's not a has never really been on the conspiratorial side of. He's been around since Vegas, and he's never been on the conspiratorial side. So that's why this video actually kind of made me pause and think, what the fuck? Um, so I'm gonna read this, okay? I said, okay, just in general, I'm hearing people saying celebrities' homes didn't burn. That's because they don't live in Lahaina. They live elsewhere on the island. Cell phones, I'm hearing from people that live there telling their stories online. They had no service even before the fire started. Now, that's strange. That is strange. That's a strange thing. Unless something to do with the cell phones, the cell towers is what sparked this whole thing. But I don't know. That'd be speculation. The morning of 6 a.m., the radio said to be prepared for wildfires later today from the hurricane. I was like, pretty confident warning, but it is really dry and we get grass fires all the time. And from watching another video, I'm told that's because when I believe it was Dole that took over from the king, I believe that was a little bit of a coup thing there. I don't know. I'm not the Hawaiian historian, but I believe uh, from one of the videos I was watching, so the guy brought over a bunch of African crabgrass because that stuff grows very quickly and it's pretty resilient, but it also creates brush when it dries out, and that's part of the problem they have with fires on this island, or these islands, I think. Let's see. Front Street runs along the ocean, connects to the highway on the north and south end, and a few points in between. The fire was coming from the mountainside towards the ocean with Lahaina in the way. All points at the highway were blocked by police. I would argue that it is to keep people from the fire and mostly legit. But on the north end, which is right at the fire line, there is a picture of police blocking the left turn onto Highway 4, wide open lanes. Um, to immediate safety, 1/8 to 1/4 of a mile away, 100% safety. If they move the cop cars, all the front street traffic would be able to flow out of there. Mr. Top Cop Vegas, love how you said that, admitted the cops blocked exits and to hold off judgment until facts come out. I can send screenshot photo of the cops blocking the road to safety. I trust you, man. I trust you that you got that, dude. I'm not gonna question you on that. Now March 2023, Maui. Oh my God. Oof. Words are hard every time of the day, obviously. Maui mayor raised our emergency funds from 3 million to 40 million. Oof. Words. Uh, yes, that's a big increase. 3 weeks before the fire, the governor did an emergency proclamation in the name of affordable housing that stopped the historical building code. So before they would have to rebuild like it was before, now after they can build back however they want with no restriction to historical property, which the whole town was historical. Odd timing. Yeah, that's crazy. Top Vegas cop also claimed in an interview he's the coroner. How is that possible? Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking, these are small islands that maybe they have different procedures there where the top cop is actually the coroner for that island. I don't know. I've not heard that being false. People are looking into it. The state county has been wanting to make Maui a fully green island. So that seems the conspiracies of a government land grab, along with them actually taking land in the past. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that Hawaii is very, I guess, progressive, you'd say. I don't know. What the chick, the congresswoman or whatever, she's a nut job. So like, you know, um, a lot of the politics of Hawaii is a little fucked up. I mean, they follow California quite a bit. And so yeah, I could see really stupid decisions being made in Hawaii because really stupid decisions are being made in California as well. Um, yeah, politics in California sucks. So I'm guessing since you got somebody in Congress that's that fucked up, I'm guessing your politics are just as bad as ours. But that whole thing is interesting, right? March 2023, the Maui mayor raised the emergency funds. Now, I don't know enough about that to really say too much about it, but like the way I see government, at least local government, is it's kind of like a mafia, right? It's meant to make money, and so they take money from the people in the form of taxes. They turn that form of taxes into whatever is going to generate revenue, generally for themselves. In a lot of cases, not always, but in a lot of cases. So where that 40 million in funds was supposed to go before this, I really don't know. But yeah, it is very interesting timing as far as that goes. Um, then emergency proclamation in the name of affordable housing that stopped the historical building codes. That's a little fucking dramatic. That's crazy. You know, that is crazy. I could see how that would springboard into all kinds of conspiracies. I mean, that is crazy. I don't know why they do that. Um, this probably all has something to do with it. This is probably all one big picture here. You know, taking the 40 million in emergency funds to do most likely upgrading. They're probably going to use. Okay, so I can see this being a thing. Right? You have a historical district that is built without building codes, without um, you know things that let's say fireproofing codes, things like that. Emergency codes, and so you can take this 40 million. You're going to, of course, then later you have where they destroyed the historical property aspect of this town. So I could see in government corruption, and this is the way I would see it working is you take that 40 million in emergency funds. Now the emergency funds is meant to uh, upgrade the town. And in order to upgrade the town, you have to get rid of the restriction on the historical property to do certain upgrades, right? Fireproofing, stuff like that. And that's going to be your excuse. Now, the 40 million is a lot of money. It's no joke, but I could see them doing something of that nature and then bringing in, their fucking uncle, who happens to own a construction company and having them build everything back up, and then getting a little bit of a kickback for that. I mean, that's the way I see government, seems to operate these days. They're not doing this stuff. most of what they do with taxpayer money is not to benefit the taxpayer, it's generally for selfish reasons. But they have to justify it somehow, so that's how they do it. Let's see. The state or country has been wanting to make Maui fully green. Yeah, this green shit is fucking stupid, man. Fucking green. Green energy. I keep saying to people, man, fucking biggest, stupid, dumbest fucking thing is, yeah, if you want to fix global warming, everybody turn your air conditioners on at the same time and just burn your air conditioners, open up all the windows, open up all the doors, and we'll cool the fucking planet together. We'll work together to cool the planet. Of course, that's a stupid idea because those ACs are built up, using energy. Energy is generally, dirty. So, um, but green energy, I don't like dealing with that kind of bullshit because I don't really know all that much about it. I do know the solar panels kill the fucking wildlife in the area, and the wind turbines kill all the birds. So you have issues with pretty much everything out there. The the water stuff is a pain in the ass because it takes too much maintenance, scraping barnacles and stuff like that. So, I mean, ocean turbines would probably be some of the cleanest stuff. The problem is you're going to have to do a hell of a lot of maintenance. It could be really expensive. So, I mean, as far as the green energy stuff, I mean, the only real good energy, green energy that we have is nuclear, and nobody wants to deal with nuclear after Russia had their little incident. So I never really, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? I never really agreed with a lot of the whole green energy fucking nonsense, climate change fucking nonsense, especially when you got, these people buying these plots of land in areas that they're claiming themselves are going to be underwater in 10 years or whatever. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, so he says, watch this video link. I'm trying really hard to not get full conspiracy, but there's a lot of things like on the video that really honestly does not look right to me. I would be interested if you could debunk it, just open eyes that might be looking for a conspiracy. When I drive through Lahaina, it feels like a total Fed takeover. No media allowed, no stopping to look at the zone. Cops every quarter mile, parked 24/7, chasing people away. Feels like a crime scene. Aloha. All right, so you got a cop there, man. That dude, whether you like him or not, dude. I mean, he came from Vegas. He's dealt with a tragedy, not on this scale, not on the scale of Maui, but a tragedy nonetheless, man. So the what they did in Vegas is probably, because you think about it, he took this job thinking this was probably going to be kickback. This could be mellow, man. You're a cop in Maui, for Christ's sake. I mean, that's Hawaii 5-0, dude, in real life, dude. That's crazy. He was definitely blindsided by this thing. This is definitely a reactionary incident here. What would you do? What would you do? Go off of, I mean, the only thing I can think of is go off past practice, right? Past practice. What do you know? What do you know? You know what happened in Vegas, right? You know how Lombardo, the FBI, how they dealt with Vegas. So this guy's just making Vegas a micro scale of what is happening in Maui, right? Because Maui, you have a hell of a lot more people dead. You got a hell of a larger, a lot larger of a crime scene here. Which is technically not a crime scene, but so shut down the whole damn city because it seems like he was bitching in that one. He was complaining, he was whining like a little bitch in that one interview, and it sounded like he was pissed off that reporters were able to get in there and reporters were not causing problems, but the reporters were running around there doing their thing, and it was probably pissing them off. It's probably pissing off the police, pissing off the fire, pissing everybody off. Whatever government agencies are in there, it's probably just pissing everybody off. So and there's a lot of predatory stuff that goes on, I'm guessing, with something like that, right? You got them trying to do interviews with people that just lost everything, man. I mean, just lost absolutely fucking everything they ever had in their life. These people are going to start over. It's definite tragedy. And the other thing is you have like straight up, dude. I mean, to be completely fucking grotesque with this whole thing, you've got bodies that just burned alive in cars. I mean, it's got to be horrific walking through that thing. You see all the X's marked on all the cars and all the buildings, stuff like that, saying that they're cleared. Some of those probably at some time had bodies in them, right? He's talking about doing the rapid DNA and all that sort of stuff, just to figure out who the hell these people are that died. I mean, it's a horrific scene. So, and then the other thing is, I guess you're probably not going to have that much looting going on when everything burned to the fucking ground. But I really don't blame the guy for trying to contain the scene. Now, 2 weeks later, that's it's a little dramatic. And what this guy shows in this video, because I'm going to show this link right here, and what this guy shows in this video is pretty disturbing, actually, to a point. When you consider their response, the response was a little disturbing. I felt personally. Let's see. So let me show this. Let's see. Is this it? Oh my God. I didn't realize it was titled this. I didn't realize this guy titled this. Now, this Hawaii real estate guy is one of the few dudes that's actually getting videos out from Hawaii. Because every time I look for stuff with Hawaii, I see this channel. It seems like he's the number one. I didn't realize, I don't know what DEW is. Evidence of, direct energy weapon. Evidence of direct energy weapon with a question mark. Judge for yourself. Yeah, no, it's not a direct energy weapon. But nevertheless, I'm going to play through this a little bit. Because you asked me to debunk this, and I'm going to do my best here. I am not a fireman. I'm not a firefighter. I'm not a cop. I'm not EMS. I'm not any of those things. So, of course, this is just my judgment, just being a regular human being. I've seen car fires. I've seen quite a few of them where I work. Things happen. But that's about it. That's about my expertise on this subject. And I'm a serial debunker, I guess, these days. So that's just kind of what I do. So let's play this thing and let's see what this guy's got to say.
Hey, aloha, guys. Eric West here, HawaiiRealEstate.org, coming to you live from Lahaina Luna neighborhood, Maui, Hawaii. Citizens impromptu reporter. Wasn't planning on doing this, but this is what we're doing, and I'm thankful to have a Starlink from David Crawford, and we're here reporting on what I believe is potentially a smoking gun of sorts. We just don't know what it is, but I'm going to show you the scenario of this car and what's...
Okay, so first of all, he's got to use Starlink because he doesn't have... they're still having spotty internet access. He mentions it a little bit again later.
Surrounding it and how temperatures could reach this level, creating this amount of melting of aluminum. I'm here with Donovan.
Now, one thing I wish I could figure out, and I haven't done the research on this yet, but I'd like to see what kind of cars these actually are. I think one of them is a Toyota because of the grill on it, but I'm not completely positive. It's hard to tell when these things are burned out like this.
He is I believe, a hero of sorts. Aloha, Donovan. Because he was the one that brought it to my attention that we have these very strange occurrences. We just shot down on the highway. I don't know if it was actually live, but we have it all recorded, so we're going to post it. We're at another one of these locations. So this is well above the burn zone, essentially, in a neighborhood known as Lahaina Luna. I'm going to show you around real quick so you can see the scenario and then judge for yourself. And again, if you enjoy content like this, I encourage you to please like the channel, subscribe, and share the video so you can get the truth of what's going on here at Maui. So where I'm at right now, just to orientate you, you can see the lights for the football stadium right there at Lahaina Luna. So we're right below Lahaina Luna High School in the neighborhood that did not, I repeat.
Well, you could see, okay, so he's about to say the neighborhood did not burn, because all his houses are standing. But you see the ground around him. It's all dirt. I thought it was gravel at first. It's dirt. But you can see that stuff did burn. The little surrounding area there did burn.
Did not burn. You can see all these houses are standing around here, unburned. There's no burn here. Okay, so to me, this is like something out of a space movie, because you have this small field with some grass that burned. Right, you can see where the grass burned, but then you have these two vehicles sitting in here that have melted.
Okay, now he's about to go into this a little bit. If you look at like that tire's gone. That is the hot spot for this whole thing. That tire's gone. You can see the paint has completely melted off on the side here. Yeah, so that's obviously the hot point. That was the flash point for this fire from what it looks like. Again, I'm not a firefighter, just saying. That's what I see.
Yeah, it's
Aluminum. So Donovan, if you want to just take us through this car real quick and show us, I know you know a few things about cars. You can point out some things that were.
Yeah, what they said is on the floor here, that's melted aluminum coming off of the car, dripping down. That's what they're saying. It kind of, yeah, I think they're probably correct about that.
Require a very high temperature. By the way, we just talked to the neighbor who was talking to an investigator in Lahaina town yesterday, and he said the investigator told him the temperatures reached in excess of 3,000 degrees. So tell us what you got, Donovan.
Well, we have.
Hey, look inside this car. Like some of the cars, some of the cars that were burned out, man. I mean, it was so hot in some of those that it actually burned those the seats right out of those things. They look like gutted shells. This one doesn't really. This one's got a little bit of its structure still left to it, as far as the seats go and stuff like that.
About 300 degrees for aluminum, and this
300?
1300.
1300. Okay, thank you.
1300. Well, 1220, but if you round it up, because it was not only melted, it was liquefied to the point where it became a river of aluminum going down the dirt hill.
So this is the aluminum rim. Obviously, there's the tire, what's left of it, the steel threads or steel belts,
and maybe combination gas tank if the gas tank's aluminum.
Okay. So you have liquefied aluminum running down the side of a grass fire.
The caliper melted, unless they stole it, but it looks like the bolts are still there. So that, and then you get the steel belt of the tire, which is just a bunch of a wire mesh laying there, and you have the windows that were melted, the back window. If you look at the big old, like almost like
the glass is just melted.
Yeah, it was
dripping.
This is almost what you would see if you put a car in an incinerator.
But this is not surround.
So the trunk definitely had some serious heat underneath it. As you can see where the paint is actually completely, gone off in these in certain spots, unless paint was already damaged when this car was there. Yeah, and I can't tell what emblem that is on the back of the car or what that would have been. But yeah, it looks like compared to the rest of the car, that hood took the majority, or that trunk took the majority of the heat on this particular car here. And it looks like the majority of the heat was on the what would be the driver's side. We are in America, so that is the driver's side, left-hand side, rear tire.
Surrounded by a bunch of structure fires or anything.
Yeah, there's no fuel.
So besides the gas that was in the tank, what's your theory on what could create temperatures of this level in the middle of a field?
Anomaly, I think is the word.
So this is the second anomaly.
Yeah, it's just that's why I.
So he said besides the gas in the tank, right? So basically, he just right here and there debunked himself. He's saying that the gas in the tank is the possible culprit here. It most likely is.
I stopped. I looked at it. I'm like, okay, house. Nothing's burned. And then you have melted steel and glass. And then the only thing that is left
melted aluminum
is the steel, the thick steel frame, and then the steel sheet metal.
So I don't know if you guys have figured this out yet.
See,
but
like even that I don't know. See, the front rim right there, that does not look aluminum to me. That almost looks plastic, but it survived, and it almost looks like it survived with no problems. Now the compartment did catch fire. Obviously, it looks like you got some stuff going on. The hood's all jacked up, so there was some heat going on there. But honestly, what this could be is this motherfucker could have just got heated up, and that heat could have transferred throughout the metal. And as it's transferring through the metal, of course, I don't think they don't lift the engine up in this one. They lift the engine up in the other one. But the heat could have been transferring through the metal, peeling all the paint, destroying all the paint and stuff like that. So the metal could have been, super fucking hot, and that front rim right there could have been all right. I don't know. It's kind of strange, but fires are.
Media has not been given
Weird.
access to Lahaina town. Everything is locked up. Matter of fact, this gentleman next door, he was on Front Street yesterday, and he was supposed to get access, and then the mayor shut it down because people were taking pictures. So they don't want pictures taken of anything in Lahaina town because they don't want you to see this. This would be my guess.
That'd be your guess, but I think your guess would be wrong. I think a lot of why they're keeping people out of there is just so they can control the scene. And personally, now 2 weeks in, it's a bit extreme, man, but they're still cleaning up, dude. I mean, they're still looking for bodies and stuff like that. They don't need that family going in there and trying to find their father or their mother or something like that. They don't need hundreds of those families going in there looking for their relatives or whatever it happens to be. That would be chaos. That would be insane. That would not be a good scene at all whatsoever. So I can see to a point why they wouldn't want anybody in there. I could totally see it.
Because the more that you take a look at this, and especially in this scenario, if there was a car like this in the middle of Lahaina, you might think to yourself, well, okay, it was in the middle of this major.
You can see it still treads there on that front tire. So obviously with this car here, it looks like the hot point was it was direct. It was in a certain spot. The hot point was the rear driver's side.
Your burn. There's an animal that died here or something. I'm smelling
Oh man, this is sad. That sucks.
That
That
looks
must
like
be a cat that was under there.
that smells like a dead something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so
Maybe.
sad. That is so sad. That's someone's dog. Oh. So now we have another vehicle right next to it. Talk to me about this one, Don.
Yeah,
What are you seeing?
So again, you got, looks like the interior is fairly intact. It's gutted. Anything that could burn did burn. Looks like it's fairly intact though.
Symmetrical with the other one.
Yes.
Pretty much identical. I mean, the heat is just tremendous heat.
Okay, there's very limited space for a grill right there. So I don't know. Like I said, I know Toyotas have small, grills like that, but I don't know what kind of car this is. Headlights burned out. Headlights melted.
Melting glass, melting metal, incinerating the tires to the point of.
Now on this one, I don't see a lot of melted metal. I don't know what he's talking about there, but I do see, the glass is obviously gone and, so forth, so on. The rubber's all gone. The plastic's all gone.
The only thing you see is the steel belts, which actually fall apart like spaghetti noodles when you touch it.
So the media is not allowed in here. No one's allowed in Lahaina
Oh, hey, this is for you, man. This is just for you.
town. So the only
You can rewind it later and hear what I did so far.
way this message is going to get out right now is if you, until your fingers bleed for America, start sharing this video.
Look what it did to the steering wheel. I mean, all it is the steering column.
Steering wheel is sometimes plastic, so yeah. I mean, I could see that. I don't know.
People is all we got left here, and the more we get the word out, and the more people start seeing this crazy anomaly, and then we're seeing it in a lot of different places. Donovan here has been on a scooter. He was at the
You see the fuel tanks on both these. They're fueled from the passenger side, which tells me that they're foreign cars. They're not American. Usually, American cars are fueled from the driver's side. That's because we are from our driver's side, right, from the left-hand side, and that's because we drive on the left, and they drive on the right over across the pond there. So generally, yeah, these are foreign cars, so they're Toyotas, Hondas, something of that nature.
Scene of the crime, the day of the fire, he was helping people, rerouting them away from Lahaina, as the cops had not blocked the southbound traffic until you got almost to
Bumpers plastic, bumpers completely gone.
Front Street.
Grass.
And notice the green grass here. Now, it's only been...
Now, this is absurd, man. This is where I get frustrated with all this shit. This is what really frustrates me with these videos, man. Is like, this car caught fire, right? Let's see. Let's see. I can see that if it was set intentionally, but a small grass fire from ashes turning hot enough, and that's upwind from the fire. Well, I mean, the wind was kind of blowing all directions, right? No, this grass didn't survive the burn, dude. These guys even explain it. This grass would not have survived that kind of burn right here. But they do explain it. You know, it's been 2 weeks. These are weeds. They grew up most likely after those 2 weeks, because the obvious fact is here there was a fire in this area. I don't think these cars were moved, obviously, because of the trail of shit coming down out of the other car. So these cars burned right then and there. Those things grew after the cars were burned. Because I don't care how much moisture is in that weed right there, man. It's not going to survive that kind of fire. Yeah, campfires, dude. Your campfires don't burn to the temperature of a gas tank. You know, there's a little bit of a difference here. And your campfires probably would not burn all of the shit in this fucking car that burned, including the calipers off of a car.
2 weeks. I don't know if that's 2 weeks.
2 weeks of growth.
Is that 2 weeks of growth? We have green grass. You think is that 2 weeks of growth? Okay, maybe it is. But there's a lot of green grass here. I don't know.
Yeah,
some of the stuff in the center, yeah, that could have survived. I can see that. You know, I can see this thing jumping from car to car. But nah, I mean, the stuff underneath the car, nah, dude, that's gas tank right there. That didn't make it.
Someone tell me, how fast does grass grow? Is that 2 weeks of growth?
Now, is that a plastic rim? Looks like a plastic cap on the rim. It really does. And you see the tires. Tires aren't burned, right? So the gas tanks don't always blow up, man. Anyways, so we're looking at the front part here. We see the tire's intact, some of it. So the majority of this fire, so it looks like the front of the car didn't burn. The other problem we have here is we don't know what was done to this fire. If this fire was actually put out before it could consume the entirety of this, you know, especially like the front end here. If that's why these houses were saved, we don't know any of that information, right? We don't know if somebody came and did something to put this fire out, if the fire department put this fire out. We just don't know. We don't know.
Growth. Someone dumped some trash in there, right? I wonder who did that. It's kind of weird.
Some nice people.
Some nice people.
Yeah.
Lazy. But if you don't share this story, I don't know who will, man.
So the second
Someone's
car,
got to start putting this out to the people that can help. I've had people tell me, "Hey, you guys got to go do something." Really?
I mean, second car, if it had hubs on it, the hubs burned right off of that son of a bitch, man. The first car didn't. So the first car looks like, it looks interesting, man. It looks like, I mean, if I had to guess, I would say this car, probably the one in front here, probably went up first. Embers probably spread to the back driver's side tire of the other car, which I know it's hard because, you know, it's got to roll up under that car and do its thing. But It's possible, right? It's possible. These things did catch fire somehow.
We just got like a little 5G back, and it doesn't even work. Every phone call we make drops.
I would be more impressed if they went and interviewed that guy standing out front right there and asked him his story, but they don't within this, so I don't know.
Right? Do you hear what's going on here? Are you hearing me loud and clear? They are creating a situation where it's impossible for us to communicate. Right? I'm on a Starlink that's in the back of my truck over there. Thank you, David Crawford. So that's the reason I'm able to transmit this message, assuming you're getting it. If you're not, I have it recorded, and I will post it after we go live.
See if you can get down.
I don't see any scorch marks over the gas tank, so it looks like it didn't come out the funnel. It looks like it probably burned the gas tank from either one of the sides, not from the. It didn't get. So, gas tanks don't blow up, right? That's kind of an urban myth. They can blow up, but in order for, if you have a full gas tank, it's not going to blow up. It's going to burn. It's going to torch. So, and I'm not a fireman, but I've seen this happen a few times, multiple times. I mean, if you take a 5-gallon drum and you fill it full of gas, and you put a cigarette out in it, or you light it up, it's going to torch out of the hole or whatever opening you have within that thing. You seal it up, it's going to put the match right out. That's just the way it is. If there's no air in there, trapped in there to do it. The problem you have with something like that, now if you filled it halfway, so now you have space above the gas, and you light a match, you throw it in there, it now has space to combust, because the gas the gas that's trapped on top, as opposed to the liquid gas on the bottom, will now combust, and that'll create, you'll wish you didn't throw that match in there at that point, but that will create an explosion. But if it's full, no, it ain't gonna explode. So a little bit of that as far as gas tanks go, because that's the main fuel source within something like this. Within a car, generally, you have gas lines going throughout the entire car too. So, they're not going to spit out enough gas through the lines to really do too much damage. They're just going to drip fire. But yeah, generally, once a gas tank ruptures, it's just going to burn all that gas. It's going to drip out, and it's going to fucking burn up. And you may have a little bit of an explosion at some point, because you are going to start increasing the amount of air that's trapped in that tank once it starts dripping out, whether it's the bottom or the side or whatever happens to be. Once you create that space, then you have the possibility of explosion, right? So that's why a lot of times you'll see cars that will, because I've seen this personally, where the gas will start leaking out. You'll start having a fire. You have gas spreading around. The fire starting to spread, and then suddenly you'll have a pop, and it's not always a big pop. It's sometimes a little one or whatever. But that's why you have stuff like that happen, because you got to get a flame into that gas tank to start that. So it's got to come out somewhere. I don't know. It's got to be an opening.
Let's see inside the motor.
Does the hood come up?
Oh, the motor's melted.
The motor's gone.
It looks like the block is melted.
No, it's not melted.
And what's the block made out of?
Probably aluminum.
Probably aluminum.
If it melted, yeah.
Aluminum.
An iron block usually would hold out a little bit longer.
Aluminum block. Do they make blocks out of aluminum? That's weird. I didn't know that was a thing.
I mean, is it possible that they're making these cars with different types of materials that just have a lower melting point? But even if they did,
it
wouldn't make any sense, because we're in a field with just a little bit of grass.
The block is still there. It's turned sideways.
The block is still there?
But the aluminum valve cover is still melted to death.
So can a grass fire?
But how does it burn underneath the hood? That's the thing.
Underneath the hood is protecting it from heat, right?
No.
Or oxygen.
Oxygen.
You can't get in there.
Right. So you have no combustion.
A hood is not a sealed environment, man. It's meant to have air go through there, dude. Come on. You have a grill. You have a radiator. I mean, air is meant to flow through that compartment. It's not a sealed compartment.
And again, if you're just tuning into this live, the edge of the fire went to that little grass. This was all just grass, no trees. You can see a couple of trees right there. It just went to the edge of the sidewalk. I mean, not even to the sidewalk. It just went inside of this fence, and then it stopped right before it got to this guy's thing.
See, that makes sense. Like, see, they should have went and interviewed this guy, man, because this guy was probably watering his lawn and all kinds of shit. He may have been there putting this thing out. Who knows? We don't know, but because they didn't interview him in this. But I mean, obviously, it's a long path to get these things lit up. You also have what is that in the background? That looks like some sort of carriage for another vehicle. I don't know what that is, though. I don't know if that's a trailer or what that is, but there's something else there that burned. It looks like, or it's gutted. It's just a skeleton.
This guy's house. And just to orientate you here, you can see the roadblock of the National Guard right there. That is where the fire burn area.
So yeah, it's fairly close to the fire. It is fairly close. I mean, yeah, it's fairly close.
Starts at the top, not the top, but of
these trees. I don't see any leaves on these trees. Were these trees burning? I don't see a lot of leaves on these trees. On this side of the block, on the opposite side of the other side of the street, I do see a lot of green over there.
Lahaina Luna. Sorry guys, I'm all over the map here. That, if you can see that blockade, that's actually where the burn zone is. So the fire was down there. Okay. The fire was down there. This is above the we're above the bypass. The fire was below the bypass.
The car block.
There was no fire here except for this little tiny field.
Supposedly it only started a quarter mile away.
So we're going to go there next.
We can and go take a look.
Next, we're going to go to where we think the fire may have started.
You got some scorch marks on the wall. There was something up against that wall there that burned. I don't know what that was, but it looks like something was. I wonder if maybe one of these cars was up against that wall. What? Maybe a mattress. Maybe someone leaned a mattress up against that wall or something stupid like that. Because yeah, that looks pretty squared off. So something caught up on that wall right there. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
This is interesting.
So those trees are green. Don't have a problem there. Of course, it burned the ground around the trees, but you still have a lot of greenery. Oh no, the green's on the other side. So those trees are burned. Yeah, those trees are all torched up. It saved some of the grass right there. Some of the grass survived. Because I don't, that stuff's dead. So that's obviously not 2-week-old vegetation. So yeah, fires do weird shit, man.
Too. Is this 2 weeks worth of?
I'm wondering if somebody put this out. I'm wondering if the fire department happened to be driving by this thing saying, hey, we got a little fire over here, and they just put it out. I mean, it almost seems like that's what happened here.
Were the grass growth? Maybe it is.
No, it looks like fire mist right there.
Interesting.
But you notice that house is untouched there.
Now let's just scan the houses next door so you can see for yourself that all these homes are perfectly fine. So there's no fuel to create a fire that's powerful enough. It's like if you burned your campfire next to your...
There is fuel. There's gas. There's gas in the gas tank. I mean, that's exactly what it is. You look at this side of the car. It looks like it's still got the rim on it. It's got the cover on it. It's got a little bit of it's charred on the inside of it, but it looks pretty decent. Now this one, obviously the gas tank went up on this one. They're not showing a very good picture of it here, but it looks like the flames were shooting out the actual nozzle where you fill your tank. Because it looks like we have, I may be tripping. We got to get a closer look at that. That could be just the trunk hatch there. It could be the trunk part right there, but I don't think it is. I think that's the gas tank. I think what happened in that car is somehow it got ignited. The fuel tank got ignited from the passenger side. Maybe it hit some of the lines that are because these gas tanks generally go through the entirety of the car. They go through the length of the car, the width of the car. So, what it looks to me here, like that first car, like the one that's kind of a mystery is the one that's really burned out. The first one they showed. The second one, yeah, just it's a car fire, dude. It is what it is. That first one's kind of interesting because it seems like everything was directed in one spot. It seems like it burned really super hot on the driver's side rear, and my guess is something caught that thing fire, and caught it, caught the maybe the tire caught fire or something like that. Rubber that would give them some give it some energy, and then from there, you know, there's really not a lot of seals on a gas tank until you get to the fill nozzle. So that would be on the passenger side. That's what's kind of weird about it because the fire burned hot enough to actually get into that tank. Now I know you could buy aftermarket. See, I don't know a lot about these cars because I don't even know what kind of cars they are. But I know you could buy aftermarket plastic gas tanks, which is kind of scary in something like this. But I've seen them. They're like some sort of poly resin bullshit gas tanks. Um, so like what it looks to me like, it looks like something got into the gas tank. Somehow a flame got in there though, which is interesting, right? So it's possible the lines got lit, you know, and then once the lines got lit, it worked its way all the way up to the actual tank, which the fuel knobs are generally on the top of the tank in most cars. And at that point, it got flames into the tank. Now, if this was a full tank, it's like I said, it's going to torch. It's not going to blow. It may have a small explosion depending on how, there's always some air in there. But at that point, it could have blown the freaking the cap right off of the fuel tank. It could have started shooting flames out of the tank, which would have off gassed it to the point where now it's no longer burning the gas into the tank, inside the tank. Now it's burning the gas outside the tank, which would have, stopped it from, completely exploding once enough air got in there. That's just what I'm seeing as far as this thing goes. But I'm guessing there was a big, a flame coming right out of that fill knob right there, which is probably what charred the back tire right there. That's the other thing I was thinking. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, we don't even know, like, if let's say this guy had his windows down, and whatever, if he had the windows down, then embers could have got in there, lit up the interior. Because this car here, the second car, looks like it was burning from the interior. It doesn't look like it was burning outside very much. The other one looks like it was kind of burning on the outside. It looks like it was burning on the outside driver's side tire area pretty heavily. The second car here, it looks like the interior got gutted. It looks like it got burned from the interior out, because of all the scorch marks around the actual doors themselves. There's that's interesting.
Your car, and then this happened to your car next.
Well, everybody's
like, so you can see this one, the first one, that did the same thing. It looks like to me because you have the scorch marks coming up the on both sides of the door where the openings are. So those flames were escaping, or the fumes, the smoke, the gas, everything was escaping through, or the fuel and the flames were escaping through the side of the doors where there's space for it to escape. So it looks like that one got caught up. Of course, inside of the car got caught up on fire. That was shooting out there. They didn't lift this hood, so I don't know how much damage there is to the engine block. This one over here, it looked like the engine block was fairly intact. It looks like everything that got melted was all the plastic shit, right? Because cars are mostly plastic these days. The air filters and all that trash.
stone beer bottles or bottles in their campfire.
Right.
And I mean, look at the windshield. It's almost gone in the back.
See, there's your campfire scenario, right? He did it perfectly, right? So this thing burned a lot hotter than the campfire ever would. He was, he actually just debunked you there. Let's see.
back windows.
So does everyone just need to go take a little Wikipedia tour on the melting points of
Yeah.
things and just do some research?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Is that a good idea? So, because I didn't know much about melting points before all this started, and I'm a skeptic when it comes to all things outlandish. But
Okay, what do we got here? We got a little bit of the tire, the driver's, no. Yeah, do we? Yeah, we got a little bit of cloth right here, man, don't we? Or no, that's steel. Never mind, that's steel. That's just folded steel. All right, we're good. We're good. Trying to look at the debris here, what we got in here. Yeah, I don't see anything non-flammable or anything flammable left. Yeah, it's all
to
gone.
me, this is what now seems outlandish to me. Again,
let's see. The trunk on this one burned pretty good because you have the scorch marks on the top of the trunk here, or the melted paint on top of the hood there. So the hood, the trunk burned, but I would expect that with the fuel tank being right underneath that.
if you're just joining right now, please share the video because we're trying to get the word out. What's going on in Maui? Give to the Lahaina Fire Fund if you can. We've raised over $500,000. Every penny will go back into the hands of survivors. We're going to document it all. Don't worry. If you want to give directly to survivors, I'm going to try to get Donovan here to give me his Venmo if he wants to, so that he can go give the money you give to him to the people that he knows that were affected. He doesn't need any money. I don't need any money.
Yeah, so looking at that car, it definitely trying to figure out what. So everything that was melting out of that car was coming out of that door, that coming in between. It was coming out the front door, and it was dripping down. It looks like, because you got all that black soot and shit, and you don't have it on the actual door panel. So, and then you don't even have it on the entirety of the rear door panel. So that looks like that might be what happened there. Again, fuel tank. See, so you have the scorch mark coming up from the fuel tank. That tells me something got into that fuel tank, and it was most likely just shooting black shit right out that nozzle there. And I would expect a flame, maybe, possibly, depending on how much gas was in there.
Money, but we are trying to raise money, and
that one there. Yeah, you see it burned. Okay, so you can see where the fuel burned. It looks like, at least to me, it looks like the fuel might have burned into the rear driver's side wheel area right there, and started burning upward. So because you got a lot of smoke there, right? And you don't have it on the front, right? So the front has the same, basically rubber. And so the rubber burn on the front did not have the same reaction as it had on the back. So, I mean, they're kind of sloped, right? So that is the way that the gas would have traveled if it was leaking out of the tank. That's not to mention all the other bullshit on a car that can actually, combust at high temperatures.
The idea that I came up with, tell me what you guys think. Again, this is sort of like a public forum, if you will, for ideas. What if we create a fund called Buy Back Lahaina, and we make T-shirts, beautiful T-shirts? I've already contacted one of my favorite artists.
I get lost connection.
Everything burned, all of his originals.
That's what I do, actually.
He has 2 galleries on Front Street. All of his,
like, what I can't figure out is, like, I'm looking behind him, and it's like I can't tell if that's like mud or if that's just the way it looks when it's burned out. That's what I can't tell, right? Because if it's mud, that tells you that there's some water, a concentration of water put on it.
His original work, 20 years worth of sketchbooks gone. He can't even come on camera. He's so destroyed. But I'm trying to.
When you visit Knott's Berry Farm,
Right, well,
you'll discover.
That's it for that one. Fuck Knott's Berry Farm. And then I wanted to show something else that I thought, just kind of doing minor looking into the stuff. I found a little bit of a video that I kind of thought was interesting. This has nothing to do with Maui. It just has to do with car fires. Hang with me. You'll see what's going on here.
Fire! 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 Fire!
Now, these are not the smartest motherfuckers, but this is kind of shows you, I don't know, it showed me like what this would actually kind of look like.
Through the car! Water.
Get the water. Get the water. Hey guys, pull the socks out.
Pop the trunk!
Pull the socks out.
Good.
Base of the fire, base of the fire, base of the fire.
Hey Greg, keep the fire off the field no matter what.
Hey, drive the car! Drive the car forward. Yes, everything! The van! Oh, the van!
All right, you see that shit? Look at that. We got car catching fire. We got another car catching fire. And look at all the space in between them of everything that's just not even burning. It's just not burning. So that kind of tells me, yeah, okay, this is a thing.
Bro.
Get the fire department out here now. Call them.
I'm recording.
I don't care about the cars. It's fine. Just keep it from spreading onto the field, okay? Okay.
Yeah, back up. Get away.
Sure, it's not the arrest for arson.
Okay.
Some friends were off-roading and they were going through a cornfield. The vehicles are on fire. We need a fire department immediately. Oh, my phone's in there. Seth, back seat. Grab my phone, please.
Where's it at? Ready to go?
Back seat. Oh, it's right here.
All right, we had a minor explosion from fuel, right? We had a gas tank kind of had a little bit of a blowout there.
Today. Yeah, guys, we f***ed up.
Oh my god. This is not okay.
We f***ed up. Is there anything in the car that's valuable?
My phone.
Yeah.
Everything out of the vehicle.
The fuel tank's right there. That's not a good idea.
Like dumb shits, they're standing right next to the cars. It's burning, but internet cloud, baby, internet cloud. Gotta have it.
I want my scooter, okay? You good?
Great, get out of there.
Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, well, there goes $500,000. I guess don't drive in cornfields.
Yeah, we got that.
I was wanting to have a little bit of fun with that car. I don't know.
This is a lie, dude.
Guys, we f***ed up.
Sorry.
Wow. Okay. I just lost $500,000. Hard loss, but I can't say what's gonna happen anyways. It's okay, guys. We'll recover from this someday.
I don't think we're ever gonna recover from this.
That's our rental.
There was
Man.
the
Dude,
tire.
you can't even
You saw the
fake
tire
that.
go
That
out.
happens so
Real
fast.
Dude,
time.
that's what I was telling
I didn't
Ben.
have
5
5
minutes.
seconds.
5
No,
minutes.
5 seconds.
I don't know what that is.
You know, we
Go
should have
get a
learned from
tire.
the cop
Is it
car.
fired? My car just caught on fire.
Oh my.
That's a Ferrari, dude. That was a running Ferrari.
Yeah.
I want to smile because it's cool, but this is weird though.
Yeah. I honestly think we're just gonna have to do another
Wait
fire
for
truck
it.
video
Wait
right
for it.
away.
You'll hear about
Shut
the
up.
insurance.
Dude, I'm sure there's a million people saying we faked this right now, probably.
Listen,
That's our rental van. That's our rental van.
With our stuff.
Oh my god.
Seth, you did say that you got the extended.
I'm just thinking about Brendan on the other.
I didn't.
Oh man,
This is really bad.
this is financially bad. I don't care about the car. It's just like, damn.
Recordings.
Oh, come on. Ruin my
Hey, it's
fun
Dana from
here.
StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local.
Tyler, Seth, you and Brady help.
Anyways, yeah, you get an idea of like what it would have looked like to see those cars actually burning when they were burning.
First off, watching fire truck.
And that Ferrari's all plastic, dude. There ain't nothing metal in that thing. You'll see that in a minute. But to answer your thing about the insurance, this guy's about to tell you he didn't have insurance on that car. He lost $500,000 up front, dude. That's on him.
We'll take more.
So pull me close, baby love. Kiss me the way I like it. I'm sick and tired of fighting. It just feels so wrong. Pull me close, baby love. Kiss me the way I like it.
You imagine being on the hook for arson for something like this? That's crazy. That shit's crazy.
Find our silver lining and make our way back home. Been trying my best to give you.
I'm not mad about any of it really, except my
All right,
shoes.
there we
right
go.
there,
Here's
but-
the aftermath.
You're worried about the
Or at least
shoes?
a little
Dude,
bit.
honestly though,
I'm glad everybody made that.
my Ferrari is literally a melted pile of metal. Right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. No, it is.
I was driving that and having fun like an hour ago.
Not even an hour ago. 15 minutes ago.
Oh man, that's a rental. I'm more mad about the rental car.
Yeah, that's
Like,
gonna suck.
So that was 400,000,
The van is a rental,
40,
which is that's a $40,000 van.
at least $5,000 in the van.
Yep. Equipment in there. We got most of it out,
We
but
just blew $500,000.
the wheels and
We just
tires.
blew $500,000.
Yep.
They don't even know that's a Ferrari yet. Like it just
No,
looks like
it could be an Ultima underneath
it
there.
looks like a dune buggy or something.
Yeah.
I cannot even emphasize to you all how much this was not planned. Even though I'm smiling right now,
No,
like,
this
I'm only
is
smiling
horrible.
'cause, like I've got to go home and like replace that.
So that car was a Ferrari?
That sucks.
Anyway, so you see like the Ferrari, man, nothing's left of that thing. But that's because that thing's it's all plastic. Everything on that's plastic, carbon fiber, all that bullshit. You know, the van looks like a van.
That does suck.
That was a house. All the people in the comments are gonna be like, "Oh, he was like is staged or something." Dude, I don't even know where we're at right now. just buy another one. Run to the Ferrari store. Do I even have insurance on this car? I think if I do, it's like the most minimal, like we'll pay for other people's damage. I don't have full coverage on anything. They won't give it to me. They're like, he's gonna cause an accident and burn a car down.
Yeah, that's what happened. The insurance companies were right.
The car lights on fire, and we have a cooler in the back of the minivan, and we're like, we need water.
Dump
We need
everything on
water.
it.
We open it up. We have like 2 Gatorades and a can of Red Bull. So I'm like, I crack open a can of Red Bull, start pouring it on the motor. But I will say, yes, there is a huge aspect of this that does suck. However, I know you always see a lot of people saying that
That I ain't gonna actually destroy it.
well, that and that the previous video, it's like, oh, you're not doing anything crazy.
Anyways, I felt that was a pretty good example just because you got 2 cars right next to each other, man. It looks pretty fucking close. I mean, of course, the Ferrari's not, the Toyota or whatever that was that burned up, but damn, dude, it's pretty fucking close. And this was just a minimal search that I did. I'm trying to see, he goes into he starts showing the parts and stuff that were left over. So
Oh, that was my dad.
Oh.
That's where my speedometer was. Yeah, I love the carbon on this car. It's a really good spec. Oh, the carbon ceramics are good. Hey, those actually are good. Those brakes are untouched.
This
That's
fire
hilarious.
was cooler than normal braking.
These are meant to be like glowing red, so those are perfect actually. We have a brand new $8,000 titanium exhaust, so that's nice, which is actually also untouched. You could actually use that exhaust still.
It's titanium.
Here we have our V8 twin turbo 1,000 horsepower Ferrari engine, which is here I think.
It just needs an oil change.
Dude, there's our turbo. The turbo just melted down completely. You cannot tell this is a Ferrari.
No.
Well, I guess we'll get this back home to Tennessee.
all right, well, there's there's a little bit of an example. I mean, I can laugh about this one because nobody got hurt in this thing, and these dudes, they did that on their own stupidity. But it is what it is. Uh, yeah, I won't say anything about the evacuation, bro, because I mean, I'm not there. You're there, so I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, that thing happened so fast. I mean, I don't even know. Like, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't watch the news like hardly ever, almost never. I wouldn't even have known those fires existed if it wasn't for a friend sending me a lot of the conspiracy stuff behind it. But I mean, I guess I heard a blurb about it somewhere, but I think people at work were talking about it or something like that. But like, I think from my understanding, that fire happened really fucking fast, like super fucking fast. So it's one of those things, man. Like, I don't know. You might be right. As far as the evacuation being kind of shitty, because the roads better than I do. I don't know shit about Hawaii. I've only been there once. Been to the Big Island, but think about it, man. Like, that's what people don't think about in Vegas and shit. Well, they just don't care. But it's like when something happens that fucking fast, like you got to react on a fucking dime, dude. And you got to do your thing, man, immediately. Immediately. You got to make decisions, man. It's going to cost lives. It's going to save lives. You don't know, man. So it's a rough thing, dude. It's rough to criticize people's intentions. Regardless whether they're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. It's tough to criticize the intention behind that action. So it's hard for me to do that, right? I mean, if you say like, because what you're saying, I believe it, dude. I'm not arguing with you, bro. I mean, I made this video for you, and I'm not arguing with you, but like, yeah, they block off certain highways that would have been exits to get in and out, and I mean, we don't know the rationale behind that, why they did that. They're not saying why they did that, but like, at least from what my understanding. See, I have a limited knowledge compared to you, man. You have way more knowledge in this than I do because you live there. But like the when things like that happen, I don't know why they blocked that road. Did they do it because they thought maybe the fire was going to spread that way? Was that how emergency services were getting in, and they just like plugged the road up so that the emergent EMS could get in, and somebody got their wires crossed and said, we need to keep the road clear for emergency services, so they didn't allow cars to go down that road? I don't know. I have no fucking idea. I don't know what went on. I just don't. He's on Maui. He's actually over there. He's on Lahaina, but he's in Maui. But yeah, that you asked me for a reaction to that. There you go, bro. That's all I can say. You imagine that, dude. Like if that's something that happened, like power lines went down, like somebody went and hit a power line, fucking knocked it down into a field, caught the whole fucking island on fire, and then you know somehow that caused the network to go down, the phone network and all that sort of shit, and that's why they're having problems with stuff like that. I don't know. I also don't know, but it's tragic, man. It's tragic. And like I said, I honestly, bro, like I saw another video where the guy was complaining, like, oh, you don't see any cell footage and anything like that on YouTube. Like nobody's putting out any stuff. And it's like, no, they can't, dude. This guy had to use somebody else's Starlink to get his videos out. It's like, no, they can't get anything out of there. They just couldn't. So it's like, man, it's crazy. This shit's just crazy. So that is what happened. They knocked down some power lines. That started the whole thing. Yeah, we've had that in California too. The only thing is like I've heard a lot of the conspiracies, not all of them, obviously, but I've heard a lot of conspiracies, man. Like the space laser thing, when people are talking about that, I watched a guy and he was claiming that, when he saw that on Reddit or whatever it was, what people were associating that to was an incident that happened in Panama, I believe. And I think it was in like the late 90s or something, where a transformer blew in Panama, and it left this. Somebody got a weird picture of it, man. It left this very strange image where it was shooting straight up into the sky. And I guess they debunked it back in the days when that happened as the light, as the thing was exploding, the light that it was causing was refracting off of the moisture in the air, and it caused this optical illusion that made it look like it was shooting into the sky. And some asshole went out there and put that picture, photoshopped it into Maui, into Lahaina. And so it looks like there's this giant, explosion in Lahaina with this this ray coming down from the heavens or whatever. And so that was to me, it's like the origination, right? It's the same thing with like, Vegas and the Saudi royal prince bullshit, right? They debunked that guy was a prince, but people couldn't be proven wrong. Therefore, they had to keep with the Saudi prince thing. Therefore, they went into talk about the Arab Spring and all this other bullshit. This is kind of the same thing where you had a guy Photoshop an image. I think that's the origination of the whole conspiracy behind that. You had a guy Photoshop an image of something that happened in Panama that was strange looking, and photoshopped it into Maui. And then all of a sudden, everyone's talking about space laser shooting this fire down. But honestly, man, like, why would you shoot a laser down from the heavens when you could just light it back on fire, next to a tree or a field of brush? I mean, why? I don't understand why somebody would go to all that, why the government would go to all that trouble. It's just weird. It's strange. I think, what's his name used to say that, God, who was it? Daniel James used to say that about Vegas when people talk about how this was some crazy government cover up to, all these people were actors and stuff like that, or Paddock was an actor or something weird, or no, Paddock was fake, and there were people in the crowd shooting, whatever the weirdness was. But he would say, like, if you're going to go to all this trouble to like fake shooting people, you think the government wouldn't just start shooting people and just do it for real? So it was a real event, as opposed to making this grandiose fake event that would cost fucking billions, paying people off to shut the fuck up. Just didn't make any sense. And this kind of seems, that theory there kind of seems the same to me. Why, a lot of these, you explained why Oprah's mansion didn't burn down, stuff like that. And that made a lot of sense. So I think you kind of hit the nail on the head on that. Yeah, we have out here in Southern California, we have a lot of homeless fires. We get a lot of them. Usually we don't have the winds to carry them anywhere. Sometimes we do, and that's when you see it on the news and shit like that. But there's always fires. Like you could go on you go on Fire Tracker right now, and you'll probably see half a dozen fires in California. And they're always happening, but usually they don't make the news because they're put out pretty quickly, and they don't spread that much. But like we have a lot of that shit. We have a hell of a lot of fires out here, and I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to reply to you, man, because you asked me to. Yeah, Malibu burns and then it slides. Malibu's got that problem. It's always all that brush burns, and then they get some heavy rains and half the houses slide down the hill. That's always been a thing in Malibu. Malibu's fucking crazy. So anyway, that I think I just about touched everything that you mentioned in there, and I did read your post at the beginning of this. So this is basically I just did this to respond to you a little bit, and hopefully I got at least something. I don't know, something out of it. I don't know, man. But like I said, to me, fireworks weird, man. I mean, California, we see the same thing, dude. We see you'll see an entire community just devastated, just leveled to the ground. You'll see one house dead center that just stood, and it's crazy. It's insane. But again, like, with that video there, man, all I could say is we don't know what happened that day with that field. Yeah, we have no idea, dude. This guy's just speculating. We're just speculating. And you don't know, like, did the fire department put that thing out? Did they not put it out? Did that fucking dude in his house right there go out there and start fighting the fire himself? Did he have anything to do with his house not burning? Um, what happened there? The people on the other side of that wall, were they shooting garden hoses over the wall to try and get that mattress put out? I mean, we just don't know. We don't know. Anyway, guys, I gotta go eat, man, and I gotta work tonight. So I just figured I'd come on here, and I definitely had to reply to you, bro, because yeah, that was a good comment, dude, and I can't explain everything. I looked at that video that you sent, and I just wanted to go through that. But and more than I do because you're actually there. I'm not. But yeah, and you said there's a lot of tension in that town, dude. I mean, all I could say is, like, remember 9/11? When 9/11 happened, all of a sudden everyone said New York just turned into this peaceful city, because New York's never a peaceful city. I mean, tragedy does weird things, man. People's psyche. So I don't know what to say, man. Anyways, again, I gotta cut this off, dude, because I gotta go. But yeah, thanks for commenting on that, dude. I mean, dude, I appreciate your opinion on this, especially because you're there. So you guys have a good night, man. Everyone stay safe out there.